A group of four swimmers were enjoying their time one calm morning in the ocean when suddenly something strange happened. A pod of dolphins surrounded them. At first, it felt magical until they realized the dolphins weren't playing. They were trapping them in a circle, forcing them closer together, not letting anyone leave. And then, just as they started getting uneasy, something happened that still lives in their heads to date. And those dolphins, they weren't there to play. They were the only thing standing between them and something else in the water that had first chosen them. Welcome to Beyond Earth. In this channel, you'll experience stories of strange phenomena and paranormal events that actually happened that will leave you questioning whether indeed there's something beyond. If you are new to this channel, take a moment to subscribe, like, and remember to comment on the video where you're watching us from and what you think about today's story. Let's get started. In November 2004, off the coast of Whangarei, New Zealand, the water stretched endlessly, an unbroken sheet of blue under a pale sky. The morning was calm, no wind, promising a great day especially for swimmers. Whangarei feels like the kind of place where time loosens its grip just enough for you to notice the small and beautiful things. Tucked in the northern curve of New Zealand, it is a coastal city wrapped in deep blue harbors and rolling green hills that seem to melt into the sea. The air itself carries a mix of salt and forest, like the ocean and the land are constantly exchanging secrets. At the heart of it all is the breathtaking Whangarei Falls, a wide curtain of water spilling over ancient rock into a calm pool below. It is not just a waterfall, it is a pause button. People come here and suddenly start speaking softer, walking slower, as if the place demands a kind of quiet respect. A small group of swimmers drifted in the open sea, led by experienced lifeguard and instructor Rob House. Rob House wasn't a thrill seeker chasing danger. He was a lifeguard and experienced swim instructor based near the coast of Whangarei, New Zealand. Someone who had spent years in the ocean, understood it better than most. To Rob, the sea wasn't something to fear. It was familiar, predictable, well, most of the time. Outside of work, he was also a father, often spending time in the water with his teenage daughter, Nikki House, teaching her the same confidence and respect for the ocean he had built over the years. With him were his teenage daughter, Nikki House, and two friends, Helen Slade and Philippa Staines. It was supposed to be routine, nothing unusual, nothing dangerous. They were enjoying their time when something, which was not strange at first, began happening. A pod of dolphins approached them and started circling them excitedly at first. They were not scared at first because these were dolphins, the friendliest of the large sea creatures towards humans. At first, the dolphins arrived like they always do, graceful, effortless, almost playful. One, then two, then an entire pod. Well, wild dolphins don't always approach humans, but when they do, it's like a special invite into their world. They circled, dove, surfaced, and for a moment, they all experienced felt magical. But then, what started as a playful interaction with the dolphins started growing into something much scary. Something changed. The dolphins stopped playing. Their movements became faster, sharper, and much more controlled. They began forming a tight circle around the swimmers, closing the space, tightening the formation, and Rob noticed it fast. This wasn't normal. This was the general behavior of the dolphins. One of the swimmers tried to move outward, and the dolphin cut them off. Not aggressively though, just enough to push them back into the fold. They were circling the swimmers. Then the real trouble began. The noise began. Loud, forceful, almost frantic. The dolphins slapped their tails hard against the water over and over. The calm ocean rose into chaos. Rob signaled to the swimmers to move closer into the circle. No one was laughing anymore. The excitement had died down. They were all waiting to see where this strange paranormal behavior of the dolphins would lead to. It was quite clear something was occurring, something which was strange at the moment. So here were the dolphins that had previously came in as playful, but were now turning into being much more agitated and aggressive. There must be an explanation, and sure enough, there was. Just outside the circle of the circling dolphins, a shadow appeared, moving slowly, circling beneath the surface, just beyond the dolphins. A shape, long, heavy, silent. A great white shark. Suddenly, everything made sense. The dolphins weren't playing, they were protecting them, and for nearly 40 minutes, the pod held formation, and any time the shark moved closer, the dolphins reacted instantly. They charged, splashed, they blocked. When faced by such a threat as a shark, dolphins use a fighting technique known as mobbing, where they gang up on sharks and chase them away, sometimes hurting them with their snouts. A living barrier had been formed, and Rob and the swimmers floated in stunned silence. There was nowhere to go, only the dolphins, and the moments and seconds seemed like minutes, and minutes like forever. The ocean, once peaceful, now felt endless, unprotected. Some of them had seen the shark, others didn't need to. The dolphins told the whole story. And then, just like that, the shadow disappeared. No final charge, no warning. The great white shark slipped back into the deep, and it was gone. The dolphins didn't leave immediately. They stayed, circling, ensuring that the danger was truly gone. And then, one by one, the formation loosened, and the dolphins, one by one, they swam away. And then everything returned to silence and the ocean to normalcy, as if nothing had happened. But for Rob Hose, Nikki, Helen, and Philippa, everything changed. They had entered the water expecting a simple swim. What they experienced instead was something far stranger. A moment where the world made a choice, not to destroy, but to protect. Not to ignore, not to flee, but to protect. Because out there in the ocean, you may never know. Something may be looking for your life, but something else may be rooting for you.